Hi everyone, I hope you're well. It's Ed from Runnable. In this video I'm going to be doing a race review of the Adidas Pro 4. I'll also be sharing with you some event footage of the Vitality 10K that happened in London just this Sunday, and you'll get some idea of what that event's like and also how I performed that day. Just to warn you, I started way back in wave 10, which wasn't ideal, but I still enjoyed the occasion. So watch the event footage to get some idea of the event, and also stand by for the full race review of the Adidas Pro 4 over 10K. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Thank you very much. Basically, we started walking
Right, I've arrived at the Vitality 10K. This is the event village that I'm in now. You can see sponsored by New Balance in the background, and obviously Vitality, a health insurance company. So yeah, I've been put in wave 10 today, so I'm starting right from the back. I'm not really sure why or how that happened, but it did. I tried to get it changed, they wouldn't. They said it wouldn't be in the spirit of the race, which is fair enough. I took it on the chin and said, right, well, let's have a different type of race today. Let's see what it's like running in a kind of busy environment with lots of people around me, not getting off to a flyer, taking it easy to start with, and we'll see how it goes. In many ways, it could kind of mimic what I'm going to have to do in New York, right? Because it's going to be a far busier race there, so it's maybe not a bad thing for me to experience that, a month before New York. It won't be a PB time today, but I'm hoping just to enjoy myself, have a good race, use it as a bit of a speed session for my marathon. I should be running 20 miles today, so this is me getting a bit of a break, to be fair. But on my feet, which is what you want to know, it's a shoe I bought quite a while ago at the start of the year. I used it for a couple of half marathons and some 5Ks, but never a 10K. I thought I'd test them out today. They're one of my favorites. They are the Adidas Pro 4s. I'm hoping they're going to suit this kind of London circuit with the wider flat roads, tarmac. They're a really lovely shoe, actually. I've got my second fastest half marathon time in them. I think that's probably their sweet spot, the half marathon, maybe the marathon, but I think the 10K they may not be quite as fast as the Puma Fastar Nitro Elite 3s or the Hoka Cielo X1 2.0s, or even the Ray and Sky Tokyos. But I think they're a lovely shoe to run in, and I thought, because I'm going to have fun today, I thought what a shoe to run in, because they're nice and soft and fun to run in, as long as your toes don't get ripped to pieces by the narrow toe box, which I hope they don't. So that's me really. Just have a look behind me. This is the event village. Obviously it'll be a lot busier once I finish. Well, actually, will it? A lot of people will have left because I don't start till 10:52. So most people in the early waves, well, nearly all people in the early waves will have finished by the time I start, which is kind of weird for me, but like I said, take it on the chin, Ed. Hopefully at the end the Adidas will approve themselves and I'll give you a nice good review on how they performed over 10k in case you're considering buying these shoes. And you'll get a little lowdown of this Vitality 10k, see if it's something you want to sign up to for next year. Anyway, I love you all, see you soon, bye bye. So I'm getting to the bag drop to drop my bag, and like loads of runners have finished already, which is funny. I'm not used to this. So starting after people have already finished, you can see them all with their medals. These are the quicker runners, obviously. But yeah, very weird. I might see a few of my mates actually somewhere around here. There you go, Ed. Can't always be at the front. I think that's Camilla Harris actually there in the black and white top. She's an incredible runner in her 40s, I think. That lady there. Right, I'm going to head now to the starting pen. I've got quite a long wait before I actually start. I think I start about 10:50 something, but they've asked us to get to the pens early, which I think is always a bit of a mistake. But anyway, I'm going to do as I'm told, as I've done all the way through this event. And yeah, I'll give you some shots at the start line, and I'll see you soon. Wish me luck. Bye bye.
Has Miles got the toilet? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Go. Yeah, well done. Oh, smile. Smile.
Mr. H, I think I'll take that one. The cheese board strikes back. Okay, you'll have one now and one as you leave. And your start time, 10:34 and 15 seconds. You've got 75 seconds. The tape at the front will be removed. We will count you down. Do your own countdown. After a 10 and a 9. So we're hoping you'll only 12 separate countdowns go right the way back. And enjoy it. It's a fantastic course. It's the last day of summer. It's flat, it's fast, and there's good to see you. Very important because we're finally close moment in the choice of music. We have selected music for your way. This gracefully Midsole is going to give you a little sample of your choices. This is option 1.
So all done, got my medal and got a t-shirt. Let me show you a t-shirt, it's quite nice. There you go. Not normally a massive one for race t-shirts, but this one I think I'll wear quite a bit. How'd it go? So I did 37:40 something, which obviously is way down on my normal 10k. I'm normally at least 2 minutes faster than that, but that's not to be you know, I'm not disappointed at all with that because of where I started. You know, I obviously started right at the back, had to weave through so many people today. In fact, there were points where I was just unable to run because literally the course narrowed and everyone was walking. So you know, that's just reality. There's lots of people in my ways that were in the same situation. I think on the form when you sign up there's a checkbox that you don't check or you do check, I can't remember, and if you do check it you get put in wave 10 because it's some kind of celebration of the human body. So there's lots of extroverts in our wave, including me, but with that in mind, you know, I should have looked at what I was doing, so I'm not going to complain. There's lots of people complaining at the end, and I'm like, well, you know, it's their own faults, right? And it's quite a good practice having to weave in and out people, you know. It can be very stressful and quite frustrating, but it's good practice. Really gives your ankles a workout, I noticed, because you're doing a lot of lateral movements. You're not getting that forward momentum. You're having to shift your weight from side to side quite a lot. So my ankles feel a bit beaten up at the moment. The course itself, I think, was pretty fair. There's some up bits, some downward, but all in all, not sure it's a PB course. Maybe those at the front, you know, if you get a clear road, it could be. I felt I ran really well. When I was able to get a clear run. I felt like the shoes, the Adidas Pro 4s, let me show you them, responded really well. They are such a lovely shoe to run in, just allow you to bound along. The only thing is they're quite, for me anyway, they're quite harsh on my calves. So again, I wonder whether I could take in the marathon distance. But they are a brilliant shoe. I think 10k, half marathon, maybe even marathon, I think they're a great shoe. The event itself, fantastic. So many people here, so many different types of people as well. It's really a melting pot of all different cultures, of all different races, all come together to do this one race. All different abilities in terms of running. There's a lot of newbies here. They seem to be enjoying themselves, waving along, and I just tried to keep out their way as much as I could. And so I apologise if I did get in the way of anyone when I was coming past. I really do apologise. Didn't mean to. I was just trying to forge a path through the crowds. I would recommend it though. Just try and get in your proper wave, and you could get a good time here, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to look out to see if I am the first wave 10 finisher, because I didn't see many finish in front of me, although it's hard to know, so many people. At the end, when I really wanted to put my foot down, unfortunately it was a bit crowded, but I still, had a lot of energy left because of the slow start, so I was able to get a decent kind of pace towards the end of the run, which pleased me, because I often towards the end of 10Ks I'm flagging a bit, like in the A6 10K. This time I was completely fresh, just my calves were hurting a little bit and my ankles, but nothing too much, nothing too serious, I don't think. Anyway, next weekend I'm running the Masters 10K in Victoria Park, and there'll be none of this wave 10 then, so I just need to get myself ready for that. And then I'll have one last solid week of marathon training after that before I go to China with work and when I start to taper. That's a bit too much information for you all. All in all, loved it today. Really, I love these big London 10Ks or half marathons, these big occasions where everyone comes together. I think just shows how popular, how amazing running has become, and I love you all. I'll see you soon. Bye bye. Okay, some key stats around the Adidas Pro 4. So in my UK size 9, and I went true to size in this shoe, I have to say it tapers in a hell of a lot in the toe area, and it's got this kind of reinforcement here. So I would say for the vast majority of you, unless you've got really narrow feet, I would go up half a size. I wish I had. I've just run the 10K in this, and my big toe on my right foot is a little bit sore through rubbing, basically because of this area here, how narrow it gets. So in terms of fit, I would probably go up half a size in this shoe. So that's the weight, 204 grams. So it's a super light shoe. It's got a stack height in the heel of 39.5 millimeters, 5 millimeter drop, giving you 34.5 millimeters in the forefoot. As you can see, you've got a large wedge of foam around here. So those that land here, it's a fantastic feeling of cushion. Plus, we'll go on to talk about the midsole in a minute, but you can see how aggressive that rocker is. Now let's go through the upper. So you can see the upper. So in terms of fit, first and foremost, you've got quite a wide area here across the forefoot, but then it tapers in really quickly to where your toes are. And you've got some reinforced material here. So I'd say the number one thing to talk about in this upper is to go up half a size. You won't regret it. It'll stop your toes rubbing. I mean, luckily this material is pretty pliable, it's pretty malleable, wraps around your foot well, but as it gets a bit firmer in the toes, it gets a bit more abrasive and rubs a bit more on your toes. So just bear that in mind. I would say that the vast majority of us should go up half a size, but in terms of the foot across the vast majority of the forefoot is actually quite wide. You can see here it narrows a bit for the heel and the midfoot, so it's really asking you to land around here. We'll talk about the heel in a bit, but generally you forefoot strikers, you're going to like the actual room you've got in terms of the upper here, but as it narrows, your toes can get a bit crushed. As I said, it's really lightweight. You can see my fingers there, I can see through. But I really like the upper in general, apart from how it tapers in. The laces aren't the best. The tongue is maybe a little bit short, but generally everything else about the upper I really like. It's got some reinforcement around the heel. You've got minimal padding on the collar, but just enough. Same with the heel. And you've got like a very flexible heel counter, which is something I like. And all in all, if it wasn't for this tapering in here, I think this would be a 5 out of 5 upper, because I really love the feel of this material here. So Adidas, if you can fix that in the next version, if you just make it tapering slightly less, also give us some ridged laces instead of these really cheap stringy things. And then on the tongue, if you're going to have such a short tongue, make this pillow go all the way up so you can cinch those laces really tight. But as I said, I had no lockdown issues in this shoe, and it's really nice, comfortable shoe to run in, apart from when your toes start to rub against the harder bit at the end. So that's the upper. I'd say it's a 4.5 out of 5. I'm marking it half a mark down for those things I mentioned. This area here that tapers too much, the laces and the tongue pillow should be higher. But I'm nitpicking a little bit. I think it's still a really good upper. Outsole now, 5 out of 5. This light traction is absolutely amazing. It was a little bit wet today on the run because it did rain beforehand, and this grips so well. You've got this little bit of continental rubber here, where you land, where I land actually, I land pretty much on that, and then I toe off. And this actually works really well, this combination. I think this is the light traction is one of the most grippiest outsoles out there going. It's got a nice thick tread as well, as you can see. The only downside with this upper, you've got this cutout on the medial side, so that can cause some people who start to pronate to have some instability if you land back here. And also the heel area, this cutout I think is just a bit too deep. You can see it's quite soft, this foam, so as I splay it, you can see that this actually splays quite a lot. So when you land on the heel, this is going to do that, and it's going to suck the ground. So for you heel strikers, the configuration and the design of this outsole could be better. They filled that in a bit. But for most people, I think you're going to find this a very grippy, hard-wearing, really, really high-quality outsole. So I'm going to score this, for me, 4.5 out of 5. Just marking it down for the depth of this gully here. Okay, midsole now. So you've got this TPEE midsole, super soft, super bouncy, combined with the carbon 2.0 rods, and you've got an absolute winner here in design. You've got this amazing geometry as well. So when you land, if you're like me, if you're landing around here somewhere, you immediately roll through with a nice bounce and you engage those rods and get a nice twang forward. It's not, I wouldn't say it's the most aggressive shoe. So it's not as aggressive as the Puma DV8 Nitro Elite 3. This is a little bit more aggressive. It's not even as aggressive as the Hoka Cielo X1 2.0, but you do get a really nice roll through and bounce with this super soft but energy efficient foam. You get this really lovely compression and quick decompression that throws you forward as you roll through your stride. Great for forefoot strikers, lousy for heel strikers though, mainly because of how soft it is and how narrow the heel is and this splaying. When you land here, it's literally sucks the pavement and it takes so much effort to transition from your heel through to your forefoot. I think Joanna once described that as a hot mess. I would just call it a mess. I don't see what's hot about it actually. It's just a mess of the design on the heel. Adidas, just fill that in a little bit. If you're going to, keep the softness of this foam, fill it in a little bit and give us a little bit of flair, heel flair here to make it a bit bigger for heel strikers. You've done a really good job for forefoot strikers. Look at the width here. But for heel strikers, you're not really considering them at all. How soft this gully and also how narrow the heel is. But saying that, I absolutely love this. For me, it's a 5 out of 5 for the midsole. I love the geometry. I love the foam, the TPE. It's so soft, this Lightstrike Pro, this new version, but bouncy. And like I said, you get this compression, quick decompression, and those rods you really engage. And I'm not a heavy runner, but I really do engage these rods, which I can't say the same for a lot of other shoes. Like for instance, with the Cielo X1, it's all about the geometry for me. I really don't feel like I engage the plate that much in this shoe, but in this shoe, I definitely feel those rods. You could almost at times, if you land hard, you can actually, your foot can actually feel them, which is a bit disconcerting, but it still kind of works. So all in all, for me, 5 out of 5. If you're a heel striker though, this could be more like a 2.5 out of 5. So just bear that in mind. Stability. So if you're landing up here, the shoe is fairly stable. As you can see, you've got a decent sole flare here and a decent width to land on. So for anyone that's a forefoot striker, your experience of stability in the shoe is going to be vastly different to anyone who lands back here. If you land back here, it's a lot more narrow. You've got, like I said, you've got this gully that splays and it wobbles all over the place. Your foot is kind of literally doing this. And with this cutout here, that makes it even worse. So in some ways, it's like the Cielo X1 2.0, but worse, because at least with this shoe, you've got this even deeper cutout, but it doesn't splay as much. This is firmer at back here. This foam is so soft, I can literally do that without actually much effort whatsoever. So in terms of stability, you're going to have vastly different result depending on where you land. If you're landing up here, it's going to feel fairly stable. Back here, it's not. You've got some reinforcement in the upper here to keep your foot nice and locked in. So the upper is doing some things here of reinforced material to keep your foot nice and locked in, but that's it for stability. So all in all, you can't say this is the most stable shoe, but I would give it a 3.5 out of 5. I think for a lot of runners who land further forward, it's going to be absolutely fine. For those of you that land further back, it could be a bit of a nightmare. Durability, I think, scores high, mainly because it's got a lot of rubber coverage. It covers all the key areas. Pretty much every area is covered apart from this gully area here, and obviously where the rods are. That is actually quite unique for racing shoes. If you look at So the Hoka, you've got exposed foam here. If you look at the Puma shoe, you've got lots of exposed areas here. If you look at the Sky Tokyo, look at the massive exposed area you have here in the foam. So you can see actually Adidas have done a really good job covering the complete outsole with rubber, which is going to mean it's more durable, and it needs to be, because obviously this TPE foam is really soft, and if it got exposed to rocks or to uneven ground or abrasive ground, you could wear out that foam pretty quickly. So I think it's going to be pretty good for durability. I've heard some people say that the foam loses its sparkle around about 200 miles. I've not gone that far yet, so I don't know, but I think it's going to be a good solid 3.5, 4 for durability as far as super shoes goes. You're not expecting them to last forever, super shoes, but this one I think will be reasonably good, mainly because of that outsole. Speed now. So here's an interesting category. I don't think this is the fastest shoe. So in my 10K today, even though I was starting in wave 10, so right at the back, I did feel like it was helping me, this shoe, navigate all the crowd, go through all the masses of runners. It's quite a nimble shoe and helped me move laterally to basically zigzag my way through. And so in that respect, it was good. And when I got a bit of clear road and just let my foot go, it responds really well. I just don't feel it's as rapid as, say, the Hoka Cielo X1 2.0 or the Puma Fastar Nitro Elite 3. I think that both of those are faster shoes, possibly even the Sky Tokyo as well, just because of that high plate configuration. You're getting a really nice twang off this shoe. So I think this shoe, I don't think would be your 5, 10K absolute powerhouse. I think it will be good across those distances, but not as good as those 3 shoes that I've just mentioned. But for half marathon, I think this is where this shoe comes into its own. I think it's a really good choice for any of you people that are forefoot strikers or thinking of doing one of the big half marathons, the city half marathons, or even a full marathon. The only thing I would say with the full marathon is just be careful with the sizing. I did 10K and my big toe is a little bit sore. I can imagine if I just run a marathon, it's going to be more than a bit sore. What's this shoe good for? So I think, yeah, like I said earlier, I don't think this is a 5K shoe. I think you could use it for 5Ks, but I think there are quicker shoes. 10K, again, I think there's probably quicker shoes out there. But what I would say, there aren't many better half marathon shoes than this, because it is cushioned, because it is nice and soft, because it will protect your feet, because it's nice and bouncy, because you get really good energy return, because you've got a lovely rocker and the geometry's great, keeps you rolling through your stride. I think you'll be able to cruise in a nice, energy efficient, bouncy way in this shoe. And I think you'll have a great time using it at those longer distances. So I would say, good for particularly half marathons. So let's talk about the Vitality 10K itself. So it's a massive event. I think over 20,000 runners today. It could be more actually. I didn't get the stats on that, but it felt like a huge event. It felt well organized. The only thing I would say is, in the application for it, I somehow got myself in wave 10, which is the last wave. So I was in the wrong wave. I wasn't alone. There's apparently a checkbox that we shouldn't have checked that wasn't obvious. And when we checked it, it meant we wanted to be part of this kind of embrace the human body movement. See, I was in this kind of pink wave 10. And you know, there's lots of extroverts in that wave, but they weren't particularly there to run a fast time. So I spent a lot of time weaving in and out, dodging in and out of people. Generally, I accepted that, you know, you just got to get on with it. You know, I was in wave 10. They wouldn't actually allow me to change waves, which is unfortunate. I think there's quite, like I said, there was a group of us having to do that. and it would have been nice if we'd been put in the right way, but you can't complain about that. Now it gives you an insight of what it's like to run further back, you know, how difficult it is for people who don't get those faster times. It makes me realize, you know, how lucky I am sometimes to run further up. Also, when you finish, it's less crowded. So, you know, you get that, I got that experience of what it's like to finish when there's lots and lots of queues and stuff like that. So it does make me a bit more humble as a runner, and kind of embrace the fact that, you know, I'm lucky because I'm able to run fairly fast. That said, I still ran 37:40 something, despite doing almost half a kilometre more than the 10k. I think that was pretty good for me. It's a nice warm up for my veteran race that I've got next weekend, next Sunday at Victoria Park. I felt like I had a lot of energy at the end. My calves were slightly tight, so I don't think it's fair to say I would love to have run another 10k, but I could have done, and I certainly had the energy to do it. But I think all in all, it was one of those occasions where you have to just put up with the fact there's lots of people, lots of different people from all over London and Great Britain. It's a melting pot of cultures, of races, which is lovely. We all came together. There was music, and it just had that cultural feel, you know. It's very hard to get in the UK outside of London, because London is such a melting pot of people. But it had that big race feel, that razzmatazz. The medal's pretty good. You see here, I got a really nice t-shirt as well, black. So all in all, not many food items at the end, which is a bit of a shame, but all these big marathons and half marathons, they tend not to give you much at the end. I think it must be, there's so many people running, it would cost quite a bit, and they'd probably run out of stuff for the people that finished at the end. So I understand why that is the case. At least they did give out water, which is key. So I think all in all, I would recommend it. There was enough toilets. I thought all that side of it was really good. There was toilets everywhere actually, so you could go to different areas. They had urinals for the guys, so that's good. The knock-on effect of that is really good for women, so we're not taking up your space where you need the cubicles. If you want to go for next year, go online now and get it booked now. I think it's £44 or something. Otherwise, you may be paying quite a lot more after the early bird's gone. So yes, would highly recommend that 10k, particularly if you love that big feel, that big event feel. You know, like with the Royal Parks, this is something similar, that kind of size of event. So that's all I'll say on the Vitality 10k. Good job, New Balance, who sponsored it, and Vitality. And all in all, had a great time there. I just thought it's really, really good event. Now overall, do I think this shoe is worth buying? Would I recommend this shoe? Absolutely. I think it's a great all-round shoe. I think for those who just do park runs, I think this would be absolutely fine. Like I said, I think there might be quicker shoes out there. I think for those of you that are planning to do city marathons with long stretches, again, I think this will be a great shoe. I think there aren't that many better than this shoe. I think at the price point below now £200, in some cases, for certain sizes, I've seen this as low as £149, which is an absolute steal. So for some people, I think this is going to be an absolute bargain if you can get it at the right price. And all in all, it's such a lightweight, fun to use, really nice, energetic, bouncy ride. I think, you know, it's one of my favorite super shoes. You know, I kind of like, when I'm thinking of, I want to race, I want to have fun, I want to go fast still, this would be like right up there with maybe say this Yellow X1 2.0 as a shoe I'd want to put on my feet. So that's pretty much it. Let me know if you've experienced the Adidas Pro 4, what you like about it, what you don't like about it. Do you think this would make a good marathon shoe? In terms of my New York Marathon, would this, in your opinion, be a good choice? I'm looking at the Ray, Tokyo, or the Puma Fastar Nitro Elite 3 at the moment. But other than that, have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you soon. Love you all. Bye-bye.